this evening as well. But for now, I'm joined by Sarah Jones, Editor-in-Chief at PoliticusUSA. It's great to get you on the program. And just to say, a huge moment in American politics, unprecedented in American history. Just talk us through your reaction today.
Well, first of all, I want to say that it's never a good moment to have any former president possibly indicted. That is not good history for the United States of America. On the other hand, the storm is here, and the law has to be applied without fear or favor, and that's what we're seeing in this indictment. And we've now learned that the former president will be arraigned in the Manhattan criminal court next week. And I think that the biggest thing, the two things that are the most important thing on the top of my reaction is, number one, to stave off any potential violence. We've already seen the former president inciting his supporters. There were threats sent to the Manhattan DA, and one of his supporters a few days ago took out a knife and started wielding it at some people who did not agree with her outside of the Manhattan criminal court. So that's the first thing, and I do believe law enforcement is prepared this time. The second thing is, are these charges going to stick? And I think if they don't stick, the problem is that there are about a dozen cases that are heading possibly for an indictment against the former president. And if they don't stick, then you have the possibility that he and his team use this case to dismiss all of the other cases. And I think the other cases are even more serious. I don't want to downplay this case because, after all, Michael Cohen did go to jail for the same thing. So if it's fair for one, it's fair for the other. But on the other hand, this is the former president, and it is a very big deal to even contemplate indicting him. We don't know what the indictment's even for at this point.
Yeah, as you point out, the details of that indictment haven't been released yet. But what we have heard, Sarah, a reaction from Donald Trump, who has released a long statement today. And I just want to read some of it out to you and get your thoughts on that. We were talking to Anthony Zerka, my colleague in Washington, a little while earlier, and he spoke to the fact that this is the kind of rhetoric that we've seen from Donald Trump before. But just to say that Donald Trump has called this indictment political persecution and election interference at the highest level of history. And I wonder, this evening, as people in the United States, Trump supporters, are sitting down and watching this break on prime time, rolling news coverage across channels around the world, frankly, what they're thinking, what's going through their mind tonight?
Well, that's a good question, because the thing that he's going to be looking for, I think he's hoping this is going to reanimate his base, and he has a lot of reason to expect that that's the case. However, there's been a lot of Trump fatigue, even among his strong supporters. So what we are going to be looking for is to see, do these people show up? Now, people have already shown up to the courthouse, so he does have these strong supporters. They will be there, and this may even make him more popular. It may make it so that he kicks other people in the Republican primary right down until they don't matter at all, because it's going to be sucking up all of the oxygen. And I imagine that he wants to be handcuffed and do this parade of persecution. That's really what his base responds to. They believe he's being persecuted. I would like to point out that just yesterday, Trump was praising this very same grand jury. So
Sarah
it all depends
Jones,
on what they say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, indeed. Sarah Jones, great to get you on the program, Editor-in-Chief at PoliticusUSA. Thank you so much for joining us.